Okay guys, as you're getting ready to write another narrative today, I am going to teach you another way to flip your sentences. And so as you're thinking about all these ways to make your writing stronger and make your writing better and different writer's moves that you can use, we already have one way to flip sentences, which is a way to have variety with your sentences. And so now I'm going to give you another way to flip your sentences. And so this is the way that we already know. So if we had this first sentence, she had long hair, we know that had is a boring linking verb here. And so we're going to take out had and we're going to flip long hair to the start of our sentence. And so you may end up with a sentence like this. Her long, lustrous hair flowed wildly over her shoulders. So this is one way that you already know how to flip your sentences. And today I'm going to show you a second way to flip your sentences. And this also is going to help you with your sentence variety. So let's look at the first sentence that I've got up here on my board. I don't have my regular board because we're not in the classroom, and so we're just making do with what we have. My mom giggled with delight and handed me the present. So whenever I notice this sentence, I notice that this sentence is set up in the traditional way that we usually see sentences. First, we have a noun, mom, and then we have our verb, giggled. So what we're going to do this time whenever we flip our sentences is we're going to flip the noun and the verb, and we're actually going to start with the verb. And so I'm going to start with my verb, and I know it's hard to see me. And I'm writing giggling with delight. So first, notice that I started with the verb giggling. Notice that my verb has an ing. So whenever we're going to start our sentences with a verb, we're going to need an ing verb. This is going to be an introductory phrase, and so we're going to put a comma after giggling with delight. Now we're going to go on to our noun, and we know that our noun is my mom. So I'm going to write my mom. Now, if I was following this sentence exactly, I would write, handed me the present. My mom handed me, but this time I also have the opportunity to revise my sentences to make them more descriptive or make them more interesting. So instead of saying the present, I'm going to see this as an opportunity to add in a word referent. And so I'm going to say, handed me the mysterious box. And then as my narrative keeps going, I'm going to reveal to the reader that it's a present and there's something really exciting and meaningful inside the gift as I slowly, in my main event, unwrap it in slow motion. Started with the verb, the noun comes next. Okay, let's try it one more time. So on this next one, I've got, I breathed deeply as I hugged her. This time, I've got a noun, well actually a pronoun. So a pronoun and then the verb, which is the typical way that we write our sentences. So now we're gonna flip it to where we start our sentence with the verb breathed. But I remember that instead of starting it in past tense, I need to start it with an ing. So I'm gonna write breathing deeply. And then of course I need my comma. Breathing deeply, and now is my opportunity to put my pronoun in, my I. Breathing deeply, I, and I could just say I hugged her, but now I'm going to ask myself, who is it? Who is the her that I'm hugging? Well, it's actually a special moment that I'm having with my grandma, and so instead of just saying I hugged her, I'm going to take this opportunity to revise my whole sentence, and I'm going to say I wrapped my arms. Now, what could I say with my grandma? Maybe she's got some wrinkled skin. She's has that sweet wrinkled face. So I could say around her sweet wrinkled face. But I kind of want to hug her shoulders. And so whenever I think about my grandma, she's older. And sometimes we think about someone who's older, we say that they're frail. So I want to say something about her being frail. So I could say her frail shoulders But this is also an opportunity where maybe I could do a little alliteration. And so I'm going to say her frail frame. I wrapped my arms around her frail frame. So I've started with my verb here. Notice that it's an ing, and then I've got my pronoun right here. So flipping sentences is another way that I can have sentence variety by starting my sentences in a new way, by starting my sentences with a verb, an ing verb, having a comma, and then having really a complete sentence after it. In order for this strategy to work, I have to have a complete sentence after the comma. So I hope that you can use this strategy whenever you're writing your narrative today.